Hello, my beauties. Good evening. It's Grace, and you're watching Eternal Grace. How are you today? I'm so glad I get to talk to you again. Oh, that is way too hot. Welcome to Vlogmas Day 8, or I guess 8 days from Christmas, technically day 2. Today we are discussing an interesting topic that one of you requested, so thank you for your request, which was how do people treat you post weight loss. So for reference, my highest weight was 90 pounds ago. I'll insert a picture here, and here is where I am currently, but I still have about 40 pounds to go to reach a size 2-4. That's my goal. We're gonna drop another 40 and see what we think from there. That should be a 4, and then maybe another 5-10 after that to get to a 2. But how do people treat you post weight loss? 90 pounds is a lot to lose, and I gained the 90 pounds over the course of 1 year and then lost it over the course of another year, and the difference in how I was treated was quite striking. I think I need some color. So we're going to talk about it today. Grab something to sip on and let's spill the tea. So let's begin with the experience of being fat. If you are fat or overweight right now, I'm sure you can already attest to this experience, and leave your experiences in the comments if you have any different takes than what I mentioned here. But generally, you are invisible to the public eye. You're very much overlooked. You don't meet the beauty standard, and you're not necessarily visually appealing. So you don't necessarily draw people's eye physically that way. But you also just don't look like you care about yourself. And in a world that respects self-respecting people, being overweight is a big sign that you don't respect yourself, and thus you do not attract other people's respect, and so they sort of look right over you. And the majority of American women are overweight or obese, so you just fit in with the average and you look average. And so, especially I think with social media, we are more trained to look at beauty more often. All of our celebrities and influencers are meant to be visually stunning people, right? And so that's what we're used to giving our attention or our eye to. And if you're not really fitting into that aesthetic or any aesthetic, you don't really get that respect or attention from people. And I think to some degree that's fair, right? I think people that put more effort into their appearance do deserve more of our attention, not in a human respect way, because I think we all deserve love and attention, but just in a social nuance way. Because beauty is social currency, and I think you've afforded yourself more when you choose to maintain a fit body, put effort into your hair, makeup, right? I think that's within reason, because we're humans and we judge, and we're all made beautiful in God's image. We're all stunning creatures, but when we're overweight, we're kind of masking our own beauty, and so we're invisible to most people. So losing weight, going from pushing 270 pounds at 5'4" to now 170 pounds, still at 5'4", is still overweight, but it has expanded my visibility so much in the public eye that it's actually almost gross. Because I can remember, obviously it wasn't that long ago that I was obese, and I can remember being looked over, isolated, socially ostracized by my peers because I was at college during this time, and not really looked at as a peer, especially by girls that I would consider my counterparts, like the girls that looked beautiful and had their lives together, seemingly. I would probably consider that my peer. But these women did not see me as their peer. They most of the time thought I was older than them. Plus I was married. A few of my professors even thought I had children. I have no children, and I'm a young girl, so not being recognized that way was pretty jarring, because obviously you know your identity in your own mind and you think that going forward into the world. But when people don't automatically think that when they see you, it's kind of like, oh, okay. And so I think that actually helped motivate me to continue to lose weight. Obviously my health and longevity were huge factors, but noticing the lack of visibility, especially when you're someone like me. Like, I have a princess mentality. I like being treated well by the world. I'm quite materialistic. And so when I'm not treated with the proper care and attendance that I like to attract, it does bother me. And so you gotta play the game, right? And that means being hot and thin, because being average size, like right now, like I said, I'm 170. That's relatively small in the obesity epidemic we're having in America. But being a 24000, right, affords you a different level of access in social standing, in social opportunities, and branding and marketing, right? Look at somebody like Alondria from Love Island. I don't watch the show, but Alondria has drawn my attention for being this gorgeous dark-skinned beauty. And I learned that she got her recent jump to fame from Love Island this summer. But you wouldn't know that because she's been booking gigs left, right, and center. She's places that influencers don't normally belong. She's at Fashion Week. She's booking Amika hair commercials. She's been everywhere. And that's not only because she's beautiful and an influencer, but also because the girl is a 0-2, right? She has a fabulous body and a very a body that affords her access in elite social spaces because it's very adaptable and it's very high fashion, right? So I think that's good motivation also to continue, because the more you fit the high fashion look, the more you look like a potential elite, the more your social standing and your social impact and opportunities can be diversified, right? So, but anyway, let's go back to how I've been treated differently. So one, just general, more attention, more, attention from men and women. I'm married, so the male attention doesn't really matter, but I do think it's interesting to notice what kind of men were more attracted to me when I was overweight versus now. Before, I think being overweight shows that you lack discipline and you're sort of a low maintenance girl, so a more average type and a more average lower earning type of man might be attracted to you. But as I've lost weight, I've noticed more older men and men that are doing better for themselves, drawing an eye towards me. And that's, more what I would hope to pull if I were not already locked down. So I think that is interesting to note. If you are overweight, you can expect more average men to find you attractive and to think they have a chance with you, because you show through your physique that your standards are not tight, that composure is not your deal. And, it's sad and kind of unfair, but that is how the world works. Similarly with women, I think I come off already as an intimidating girl. I think non-Black women tend to be intimidated by Black women just off the bat because they have certain biases. That's a general statement, but living in a predominantly white area the majority of my life has taught me that. Tell me if you can agree or if you've had similar experiences, but that's been my experience. And so also when you doll yourself up and when the body's tight, I think that adds to the intimidation factor. And I like that because I like being visually intimidating and using that as like a filter. Low maintenance, girls, pick-me's, plain Janes, we don't normally get along philosophically, morally. We just don't normally intellectually get along. And so the physique tells you something when you meet me, right? It shows discipline and standards and attention to detail and prioritization of beauty. And so I think that is a good filter. It's attracted, some healthy women that are also on their ish and aren't easily made insecure to me. And it's also diverted the attention of women that go the opposite way. Actually, I'll tell you a quick story. My last friend that I had, I deleted from my life ultimately because we had a jealousy issue growing within the relationship. And the majority of our friendship, I was at my highest weight. And I think she got comfortable seeing me as the fat friend. And as I slowly started to drop the weight, she only saw me probably within the first 20 pounds lost. But even with those little 20 pounds, we're talking going from 270 to 250, which is still obese. this girl switched up on me. She started acting different. She started getting really clingy and possessive with her man, like anybody wanted his broke self, right? Just all of this weirdo behavior. And so insecure women will naturally divert their attention from you when you are visibly an attractive woman that puts effort into her looks. And so if you want to attract other attractive women that put effort into their looks with high standards, that see themselves going places and want to be socially diverse and able to go anywhere, right? Connect with high standing, high society individuals, enter rooms that I can't even imagine right now from my little bedroom right now, right? Keep dropping the weight. And yeah, I think that just kind of engages with every aspect of your life, right? People are smilier, more doors opened. You know, like I said, it's kind of sad. It's sad because the fat you that had the door, you know, left in her face, or, you know, no one wants to pull your chair for you, or nobody's looking for you, right? You are sad for her a little bit during these moments, but the excitement that you have for your future self that's on the other side of the last like 40 pounds for me, that excitement grows, and I think that's more important. So I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Let me think. I think those are the most, as far as like how society treats you things, I think those are the most important things I wanted to touch on. But if you want to talk about this more, I'm here for you guys. So please continue to engage with the content. Drop your questions if you have them. Tell me your experiences and tell me your weight goal. Do you like being bigger? Have you made peace, or do you not, you know, focused on weight as far as your looks like that? Because I feel like beauty's a hobby, and you could be more focused on your hair or your makeup or your clothing style and not be weight focused. I think fertility and longevity have really helped me, and, you know, just wanting to steward my temple and being delivered from gluttony have really helped me lock into wanting to be slim. And like I said, the social diversification aspect, because I see myself in elite spaces, simple as that. And I know that being slim is a unspoken entry requirement, right? So there's no reason for me not to aspire to that. That's my thing. But tell me your perspectives. Tell me what you're thinking about this, and let's continue the conversation more. But that's our Vlogmas Day 8. I'm sorry this is getting up a little late today. It's been a busy one, but I thank you for tuning in, and we will talk again tomorrow. Bye, loves.